What is up, guys? Clay Enjoyer here. It is time to enjoy. And in this video, I made that toothless meme, but I put my own spin on it. Like all my clay creations are made, they are made in steps, so I can start by making the oval head and the mouth. Then I can add some dinosaur dragon-like texture using this little metal tool. With that done, I can add the eyes, ears, and nostrils to make this dragon actually look like a dragon. Which I guess, now that I think about it, this dragon hardly looks like an actual dragon, more like a happy lizard. With those details, then I can add the little frill things on the back of his head, as well as his spikes on top. In the meme, the spikes are actually more like bumps, but since I'm making this creation, it's gonna be spikes. Then I can blend in the spikes to the rest of the head to make it look more like the spikes are meant to be there and not like they were just poked on. Now with Toothless's head complete, I can attach it to the pre-made body and blend it in with the neck. The only logical next step is to make the body, which I can start by carving out some ridiculously anatomically inaccurate muscles, which I think is pretty hilarious. Now, since the legs are just about complete, I can give Toothless some feet. And don't worry, if anyone likes looking at dinosaur feet, I got you covered. Then I can poke some claws in off camera and give some barely noticeable texture on the feet. Since the dragon already has really muscular legs, the only logical next step is to give him some ridiculously beefy abs and chest. With the muscles in place, I can blend them together to make them look more real. But then again, this is a three-dimensional meme. I'm not really sure that this is very real. To make this dragon look a little less cursed, I'm gonna give him some enormous arms. And even though these muscles aren't realistic or anatomically correct at all, I don't care. Shut up, you're not my mom. Then I can attach his bicep and give him some boxing gloves for hands. Technically in the meme it didn't have hands, but I thought it would be funnier with hands. After figuring out the temporary angle of the arms, I can promptly take them out and giving them an arm socket so I remember where to put them. Then I can apply some more of that dragon dinosaur texture all over his body. My favorite part of the entire model is probably the chest and abs because I got them to be so smooth. Then I can continue applying that texture. Then I can attach the arms to the body with an armature wire. With that done, I can take some cones of clay, give them some texture, and put them on the back of Toothless. Just like his head spikes, I'm using a worm of clay to blend the spikes in to make it look more real. As one of the final details, I have to make his tail, starting with the one that is real, but in the movies he has a fake one as well, which I will be making next. And the fake tail section is a lot more interesting than the real one. I can poke in some texture and then make some little circles of clay with some cylinders to make it look like ropes are holding the tail together. Now I can attach the actual real part of the tail next to it. Finally, the last step in the sculpting process is to make some nicks and cuts in his skin to make him look more interesting. Then I can paint him with a very, very dark gray, making sure to get all the hard to reach spots. And with a model like this being mostly only a few colors, it's nice to paint the entire body because it makes it look like I have a lot more progress done. Then it is on to the smaller details like painting the artificial tail red and silver to make it look more like metal-y bits. And painting the rope or chain a lighter gray to add some variation. Then I can paint the eyes a very bright fluorescent green and toning it down with some greenish blue on the sides, along with the piercing black eyes. And to really show how muscular Toothless is, I'm going to give his muscles some purple highlights as well as his claws. Now it's time for a base. I can take some offcuts of foam and glue them together. The only problem is there's an edge, and we don't want that edge. But it is no problem because I can mix up some white plaster and smear it in between the edges to cover it up and make it a little bit more or less noticeable. I mean, it's not good, but it is good enough. Then I can add some texture on the base to make it look a bit more interesting with different varieties of texturing tools, even though most of the detail will not be able to be seen at the end. It's more about the journey than the goal. Now, this science experiment I'm cooking up is meant to protect the foam so paint can adhere to it. Then I can mix in some other stuff and some paint to hopefully make it look more like dirt. Then I can mix it all together to combine it to make the forbidden chocolate sauce. I can waste this chocolate sauce and put it all over my base. Then I can put on some grass to give the base some more life. To give some more variety, I'm gonna sprinkle on some light grass as well as some slightly darker grass and build that up a lot to make it look like a slightly over manicured suburban lawn. Because the white of the foam doesn't match, I can paint it brown, a similar color to the forbidden chocolate sauce. Now I can add some watered down glue and sprinkle a whole lot of rocks and some very fine sand to give some more texture and some sticks as well. Because I want to add a little bit more life, I'll put in some flowers and put Toothless up for the final reveal. If you enjoyed watching me make this three-dimensional meme, please like and subscribe for more videos no one asked for. Thanks for watching.